Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Best MTG Decks Ever. I'm your host Joseph, and today we are going over a new commander, Shalai and Hallar, but I like to call them Shal'lar because I just combine them together. Shal'lar, Shal'lar. Pretty simple, right? So I'm just going to go over a deck that I created with this. It is competitive. It's CEDH. And then after I do a little quick rundown of the deck, then we'll do some sample hands so you can kind of see like what you want to do, the kind of the strategies and stuff, and how you want to play. So let's get into it. All right. So this is the Shal'lar combo stack CEDH deck. So the commander is one colorless, one red, one green, one white, flying vigilance. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, Shal'lar deals that much damage to target opponent. So the thing that is significant about this is that we can combo with some cards. So, for example, we've got Heliod Suncrown, and the way that this works is you've got Shal'lar in play. You cast Heliod. You pay one colorless and one white to give Shal'lar lifelink. You attack with Shal'lar. When Shal'lar deals damage, you gain life, which puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and you put it on Shal'lar. I mean, I think you can put it on anything, but anyway, +1/+1 counter goes on, triggers Shal'lar. Shal'lar does a damage to a player, and since Shal'lar has lifelink, you gain another +1/+1 counter, and it just goes infinity, and you kill everybody. You can also there are also some other stuff now currently in the deck. I don't have it. Is the Red Terror might go back in. Red Terror works something similar. You've got Shal'lar on the table. You cast the Red Terror. You attack with Shal'lar, which is a red source, which would put a +1/+1 counter on the Red Terror, which would cause Shal'lar to do damage. And it being a red source, will put another +1/+1 counter. Goes infinite. Now, those are not the only combos that we have in the deck. Some of the other combos, there we go. Some of the other combos that we are running, we have Walking Ballista. So if, for example, say someone plays a Drannith Magistrate and they have that on the board, and you can't get rid of it, and it's just being a plague, you can still win with Heliod Walking Ballista. And it's really easy to get in this deck. There are a ton of creature tutors. Let's see. We've got the Emiel, the Blessed, and Dockside Extortionist combo. So basically, it's like this. You've got Emiel, the Blessed, and you activate her ability, which is 3 colorless, and you can blink a creature. So as long as and you have Dockside on the board, so you blink Dockside, and then he comes back, gets an ETB trigger, and you've got to make sure that you've got enough, like your opponents have enough artifacts and enchantments, because you're going to need to create 4. And essentially, this lets you go infinite with mana, and then once you have infinite mana, you can cast Shal'lar. And then you would do one more blink, and then this is where Emiel's second ability comes into play. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay a green or a white. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it. If it's a unicorn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So essentially, you can start, like, you do infinite mana, and then you start bouncing Dockside, and then putting a +1/+1 counter on them, which starts doing damage to everyone, and then they just get annihilated. We have a slightly more expensive combo, which is Temur Sabertooth and Dockside. There's another layer to this one, though. So if you've got Temur Sabertooth and Dockside, basically you don't necessarily have to go infinite with mana here. What you can do is bounce Dockside enough times to start drawing, because every single time you recast Dockside, you'll proc Beast Whisperer, which will allow you to draw a card. So you just start drawing cards, and you'll get extra mana. You'll get to a point where you get mana. You'll find win cons. You'll drop Grand Abolisher, and then like you can keep on just doing what you need to do um, to win. And another infinite combo. So like, yeah, there's a way that with this bouncing thing, and you could also do it with Emil the Blessed and Dockside Extortionist. So this is so if you don't have access to your commander, you can still use these infinite mana combos to Walking Ballista. You would just basically put a Walking Ballista out with a million +1/+1 counters on it, and then remove +1/+1 counters, kill all your opponents. So those are the win cons. We are running a suite of tutors in order to find our win cons. I'm so something I did with this deck in the primer is I have meta packages, because something that's interesting about this is, so if you're in a meta where a lot of your opponents rely on ETBs, you'll want to switch this deck up, because currently we don't run any stax cards in it that counter ETBs. And the reason why is because we're playing a bunch of ETB creatures and stuff. So what I did in the primer was I kind of have meta packages. So if you're in a meta that's got a lot of ETBs, you need to put a stop to that stuff. You can sub in to Cotley, Hushbringer, Hushwing Griff, and Noxious Revival in for Emil the Blessed, Beast Whisperer, Eternal Whisper, and Temur Sabertooth. So basically, it narrows your win conditions, but it gives you a suite of stax pieces to kind of play into your meta. Also, I made a meta package here. And this one's if you're in a meta where there are a lot of commander-centric opponents. And so think of something like Haldon and Paco. That deck needs its commanders to do what it does. And so in a meta like that, you might want to run something like Giant Killer, which you don't see often in CDH, but it's really good for specific countering specific commanders, because you've got chop down. So like if someone's playing Haldon Paco, they play Puppy, boom, you can destroy it, and then cast Giant Killer, and then if they get Puppy back out on the beginning of their turn, you can tap target creature. Likewise, you can also use this against Winota. Winota comes down, you use chop down, kill Winota. You then cast Giant Killer and have that out and ready. By the time they get Winota back, when people try to attack, you can tap target creature and slow things down. I mean, it won't stop all of the triggers going down, but it can kind of, slow them down a little bit. Faithful Absence, Solitude, Song of the Dryads, and then you can switch that stuff out. I mean, really, you can switch it out for anything that you want, but I was creating these meta packages so you can not have to think about what you're doing. So like I said, no War Elemental. War Elemental is just garbage. Don't put it in the deck. It sucks. It's slow. It's clunky. It's stupid. Now, the Red Terror, though, that one I'm still iffy on. I kind of want him back in there, but yeah, we'll see. So the strategies of this deck is you play stacks to slow opponents, tutor to win con, play win con, and win. There are a couple of things that you can do. So if you're doing the Temur Sabertooth Dockside Extortionist combo to get infinite treasures, you can also remove your own creature stack pieces temporarily to try and play a win con. Just something to think about. And then if for some reason your win con is stopped, you can recast all your stacks pieces, which is kind of cool. Um, Natural Order is used to get Beast Whisper or Temur Sabertooth. Now you would take Natural Order out if you used one of the packages. I should probably add that to one of the ETB package. Um, but yeah, you'd want to switch this one out. Um, Heliod, Walking, Shal'lar, and Emil can win through Rule of Law effects as long as you have the pieces on the board already. But the mechanics for them will work. Um, it Ideally you want to get a Thorn of Amethyst or Rule of Law effect on the board. This is if your meta is very fast. Um, Thorn of Amethyst is non-creature spells cost one or more. There's a bunch of stax creatures that are similar to that. Where are they? There's Glow Rider. There's Vryn Wingmare. I thought there was one more. But yeah, and then we've got a bunch of the Rule of Law effects. We've got all of them running here, including this new one, Phyrexian Censor, which is kind of crazy that Wizards made another one of these, but oh well, it's fine. I like playing stacks, so it helps me out. um, let's see. So yeah, we've got all those tutors. We've got some other tutors in here for getting win cons. Birthing Pod can help us do that. We've got a lot of ramp inside here. Okay, so we've got another hand here. So this hand initially kind of like looks good, but we're mana deficient in white, which is a no-no. We have no fetches, and this is a dead hand, so we would mully that one. We've got ramp. We've got some stuff that we can do. But all in all, this hand looks pretty bad as well. However, because we have no stacks, we have no tutors. But we do have one of our win cons. So I just say we play it. Why not? So turn one, we would draw. We will Marsh Flats, getting Savannah. Close and shuffle. We lose a life for cracking that. We tap that. We play a little mana dork, and then we pass the turn. Then we play Ancient Tome. We actually don't play that. We play Gaia's Cradle, and then we tap that to cast a mana dork. Then we tap this for 2, getting Thorn of Amethyst. And so now we're ramping, and we've got some stacks. Now we're kind of color effed because we can't do either of those. So we go to turn 3. This is bad. This was not working out. This was bad. Turn 4. Okay, so we have another stacks piece. So, I mean, that's better. And then maybe we could say we have to besiege you somebody's board for control or something. So now we're sitting here on turn 4. This is kind of a less than optimal play. Also, so we go to the next. Oh, God. With cord, we're gonna. Oh, okay. So this might actually work. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can pay cord's cost with this 3 creatures, 3 green. And then we're going to pay this. We'll take 2 damage and that. So we're going to put 4 in there. And we're going to get Emiel, Blessed Dawn. Emiel the Blessed comes out. We close that. That goes to the graveyard. And then we pass the turn. Okay. So now we've got City of Brass, and we've really, really lucked out because we really needed that red. So, yeah, again, just like the last hand, we play Dockside, go Infinite Treasures. We'll have to sit here for a whole turn doing nothing. Hopefully, no one does any removal because with Eidolon, we're not going to be able to protect, but we will be able to make these all of these guys Googleplex power, Googleplex defense, and go Infinite Treasures, and then next turn we would win with Commander on the board. Another turn 7 wins, not stellar. We've really had some really unoptimal hands, so maybe we can try another hand to see how that goes. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We've got a game piece, and we've got some ramp. So this is going to be okay for what we're trying to do. Because we've got this, which combos with our commander. So essentially, when you're seeing this, our game plan is to cast commander first, then cast Heliod, and then attack with the commander, giving him lifelink, and then you go infinite and win. So we draw for turn. We will play Bosiju. We're going to crack it, and then we're going to ramp. Because we want to get to our commander as fast as possible. I think we can pull it off on this next turn. No, we can't. But all right, so we'll go to next turn. We'll play Platy. And so we tap 3. Yes, unfortunately, we just cannot get our commander out, no matter what kind of shenanigans I'm trying to think in my head. I would guess that we just tap this, play crop rotation. It goes to the graveyard, and then we get Gaia's Cradle out there. Close and shuffle, and that's all we would do for turn 2, and then turn 3 comes around, and now we can tap, 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 and you, depending on what your opponents are doing, we might have to Eidolon and completely shift gears. But if we want to try and turbo this out, we drop our commander onto the board, and then on turn 4, we go for the win. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So we tap enough to get Heliod out here, and then we tap this to give our commander lifelink, he attacks, and then everyone dies. So that's how we got that out turn 4. Even that hand wasn't optimal, but it still did its work by turn 4. Um, and then if we failed for some reason, if there was removal, we, can go into stacks. We can start sacking things to get, new game pieces that we want. Yeah, it's that. My life for Shal'lar!